And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into another Varsity Media Sports Network live stream broadcast. This afternoon, we come to you from downtown Rochester, New York. I'm Ben Turchin, joined alongside Joel Balthaser for the moment as we bring you live coverage of the first ever Empire State Gridiron Showcase put on by Moe Jackson, otherwise known as Moe Jackson, and Derek Dyer of the Playmaker podcast. We're really excited to be here to feature some of Rochester's best high school football players. As you see on the field right now, we are finishing up 40 times, cone drills, broad jump, and we will have station-to-station work coming up momentarily. I know we'll hear from the man himself, Moe Jackson, speaking to the players at some point as well. So, Joel, here at Rochester's, we can't really give you a name of this place because it's changed. It used to be Paytech. It used to be Marino Auto, Saline Stadium. So we don't really have a name right now, but we got a great day, a great facility, and great for these kids to show off their skills.
Yeah, this is a perfect day. If you want to draw up the perfect weather for an event like this, it would be today. I mean, blue skies, it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's not raining for once in Rochester. So they've got a great turnout here, and I know everybody down there is excited. We're talking to everybody before this event, and just looking forward to a great day and showing off some of these top players from the Rochester area.
Yeah, and these showcases have become a big thing. This is our third broadcast. A couple of weeks ago, or last Saturday to be exact, we were on Long Island at MacArthur High School in Levittown, New York, on Long Island, showcasing some of Nassau County's best players. 180 kids tuned in, showed up for that event, and we have over 85 kids here today. Joel, it's just a great opportunity for high school athletes to get this kind of visibility, as college coaches will make appearances here today, and I'm sure we'll have college coaches watching the live stream. It's something that if you talk to coaches, older players, showcases like this didn't exist 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and now they're popping up really all over the place. And you had mentioned the weather being so good. It's not football season, but now because of these showcases, it's almost like the offseason doesn't end, and it's just a great opportunity for these kids. It
is, and you touched on it earlier. I mean, these showcases are popping up, and they're getting a lot of traction. It's a fairly new thing here in New York, and we've seen from the ones we've done so far, a lot of goods come about. Some of these kids are getting some looks, getting some calls, and eventually leading to some offers. So that's what these are all about. It's just putting a spotlight on some of the players here in New York State that, as we talked about in our first broadcast, it wasn't there before. So this is just a great opportunity to showcase some of their skills and show the rest of the country that we got some really good football players in upstate New York and all of New York State.
That's true. New York State is really emerging as a go-to for talent around the country for college football players. Just talking on that for a second, most of the time it's Division III, it's Northeast schools, but now I think you're seeing some kids are starting to get more national looks. Maybe not the biggest D1 programs, although some are getting D1 looks at some of the bigger programs, but even just getting New York on the board nationally, I think, is really impressive, and I think it's because of guys like Moe Jackson and some Joe Vito, the president of New York State Coaches Association, Mark Vidicor, who runs Prospect New York State, Dave Marine, elite athlete who coaches at Wayne. He's got a showcase coming up later in the year. So just these coaches, these talent evaluators around the state are doing a great job in putting events like this on to have the kids on the map like this.
Yeah, you named it. I mean, these coaches just go above and beyond for these kids. And they're doing it for, to get these kids looks, to get these kids offers, and they're putting in countless hours on top of their coaching responsibilities, on top of their teaching responsibilities, their day job responsibilities, and they're organizing these massive events, but we're already seeing it pay off. I mean, we're seeing some of the kids, I know we had the quarterback from Canisius, had a bunch of looks.
Christian
Villou, and we had Nate Carter, who was the star of the Prospect New York State camp, ran that 4.38, 4.39, and he's getting offers and visits everywhere. So that's why these coaches do it, and we're excited to be a part of it too. So we get to help expose some of these kids to coaches around the country. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You hit it right on the head. So in case you're just tuning in right now and you're looking at our screen and you're wondering, well, what's going on? Did the showcase start yet? It kind of did. The beginning of the showcase is about the 40-yard dash. It's about cone work, footwork, broad jump, all the basic skills, or maybe not skills, but intangibles that you are used to seeing on the NFL Network in February when they run that combine. So that's what you're seeing. We're wrapping that up right now. And starting around 1 o'clock, although it is 1 right now on the East Coast. So we are going to be a little late into the one-on-ones and the skill work, the different positions. We're going to be a little bit late on that, but we will have that for you. We expect to be on the air till close to 3 o'clock, and if we need to stay a little later, we will. Obviously, everybody always looks forward to the one-on-ones when you have a chance to really evaluate a DB against a wide receiver, how a quarterback's throwing up really to a guy who's going up against a DB. And I know college coaches are looking forward to that. So that's coming up later on. We'll try to put a schedule on the screen for you at some point so you see and can follow along with us. And I know we had mentioned this, but Coach Moe Jackson is going to speak to all the players, and we'll have that for you live once we get that going. So that's where we're at right now. I think what we'll do is we'll take a timeout, and we ask that you bear with us for the next few minutes because it really is going to be like this until we get going. So we are waiting on those skills and drills to begin. If you do follow us on Twitter at Varsity Media, if you want to interact with us on the live stream, we have a Twitter account at Varsity Media. And if you hashtag Gridiron ROC, hashtag Gridiron ROC, and tweet to Varsity Media, you want us to talk about a player that's here today, you want us to talk about certain teams around the Rochester area, we'd love to be interactive with you throughout the course of the afternoon. So we invite you to tweet at us, Varsity Media on Twitter, with the hashtag Gridiron ROC. Again, we ask that you bear with us. We're going to stay live, but we'll take commercial breaks until we really get going with this showcase. So we'll take our first time out, and we'll come back with more after this. You're watching the Empire State Gridiron Showcase in Rochester, New York, live on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to sign up with Varsity Media for this year's lacrosse season. We offer competitive filming rates for full season coverage of your team. Varsity Media also offers action photography during the lacrosse season as well. To learn more about our services, visit varsitymedia.net or give us a call today.
Looking live at the Kodak Building in downtown Rochester, New York, as we bring you the first ever Empire State Gridiron Showcase here in the Flower City. It's Ben Turchin and Joel Balthaser for the time being as we await Moe Jackson and Derek Dyer, the two football coaches, former players, running today's showcase. Derek will join us here in the broadcast booth, and I know Coach Jackson will be speaking with the players momentarily as we finish up some of the shuttle work, the cone drills, the broad jumps, and I believe we have now completed all the 40-yard dashes. And Joel, I'll be interested to hear from Coach Dyer. We'll find out if any of these kids ran some big numbers. You had mentioned when we were at Prospect New York State in Utica back in March, it was Nate Carter of Bishop Kearney who ran a 4.38 and opened up a lot of coaches' eyes. And that's what this is all about. So when Derek joins us, maybe he'll have some kind of updates for us on any of these athletes today that ran a big number. Yeah,
he's a perfect story right here at Bishop Kearney. Didn't have any offers, I don't believe, once that event starts, and then ran those blazing time. And he was the hit of the whole showcase. And then all of a sudden started getting phone calls. So I would be surprised if anybody topped the 4.38 mark. But if they do, then hopefully we got some coaches watching and pick up the phone. These kids can play here.
We do expect college coaches to be in attendance today when things really get going. And if we have an opportunity to talk to any of them, we'll bring them in the broadcast booth. We do have high school coaches here as well. We'll be looking to interview some of them in addition to the college coaches. So if we could bring any of that to you on the live stream, we will do that. Again, just to reiterate, the schedule really begins. It's supposed to begin at 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
so we're running a little late. We ask that you bear with us on that. We're not going anywhere. We're going to stay till the end of the broadcast. Till the end of the showcase. We'll be broadcasting to 3 o'clock, and we have some exciting drills and one-on-ones and things like that to broadcast for you today. Again, we're live in downtown Rochester for the Gridiron Showcase, and we're just looking forward to this exciting opportunity to once again come on the air on the Varsity Media Sports Network and bring you some of these high school athletes really trying to showcase their skills.
These are a lot of fun. I mean, I know we have a great time doing them. I know these kids have a great time being a part of these events, and just like all of our streams, we like to be interactive with people watching along. So remember to send a tweet with the hashtag GridironROC if you'd like to be part of this, and we'll mention it on the broadcast. And we'd just like to hear your feedback.
And you see the hashtag right on the screen on our lower third there, GridironROC. If you use that hashtag on Twitter, @VarsityMedia, that's our handle, @VarsityMedia. Want us to talk about a school, a player, a team, anything that's on your mind. We want to be interactive with you today. Once again, they are wrapping up some of these cone drills and broad jumps and 40-yard dashes and all of that. Every kid gets the opportunity to come here today, Joel, and go through each one of these. And college coaches really want to see that, these intangibles. That's what gets the looks, like you had mentioned Nate Carter. So all these kids have an opportunity to do that, and like we said, maybe one or two of them stand out.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear, too, from coaches the value they place on some of these drills as opposed to, obviously, they have all the game film, so they know what these kids can do on the field for the most part, but they really want to see some of these specific. They want to see the quickness. They want to see the acceleration, the closing speed. So it's really interesting to hear from some of the coaches and some of the scouts that we've had an opportunity to talk with, and hopefully we will today as well, to really understand the value of a day like this today.
We'll take another break, and when we come back, hopefully action picks up here from the Gridiron Showcase. Stick with us. Plenty more to do here till at least 3 o'clock from Rochester, New York. It's the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to sign up with Varsity Media for this year's lacrosse season. We offer competitive filming rates for full season coverage of your team. Varsity Media also offers action photography during the lacrosse season as well. To learn more about our services, visit varsitymedia.net or give us a call today.
Once again, welcome back to the Varsity Media Sports Network here live in downtown Rochester for the first ever Empire State Gridiron Showcase put on by Moe Jackson and Derek Dyer of the Playmakers podcast. And Coach Jackson gave us the 10-minute warning a couple of minutes ago, so we're not far from really getting this thing going. So what we'll do is we'll give you the views of the field, and then Coach Jackson will be speaking to all the players, and we will bring that to you live. You will hear Coach Jackson's speech to all the players, and then we'll break into the individual drills. So we're moments away. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere. We're going to keep live, keep the angles, the cameras going, and we'll come back on the air with you, and you'll hear from Coach Jackson coming up in hopefully between 5 and 8 minutes from now. Okay, so once again, stick with us. We're live here from downtown Rochester, the Empire State Gridiron Showcase. And we'll come back with Coach Jackson in a few minutes.
Last one. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Right now, actually. I'm just gonna have it right here, down here.
Hey, there were 2 footballs there that's supposed to be there for receivers. That one you got and another one. I don't know what's that. Oh, they probably playing with it right there. I don't know if that's not.
How much of the field you got for the DB?
Y'all down there.
And that, we need
Yeah,
two
y'all got this whole side.
We need 2 more.
Who that's for? This is
Running back.
running back here. Running back here, QB there, wide receiver there, DB's here, linebacker here.
So I assume 10 minutes and then I'll probably leave.
We'll just come together.
So after Indy, then what? Then my job is done.
In front of Moe. Take a knee, fellas, take a knee. Fall in, all the way around. Come all the way through.
Individuals first.
Swing around. He's here. 1 2 1 2. All right, fellas. First part is done. We got through all the testing. Congratulations on the guys that performed well. Everybody made it through it pretty good. Hey, listen up, man. If you are not satisfied with the way you performed, there are options. There are options around here. If you're serious about the game, then get serious. Be serious about it. Get into somewhere, train somewhere. You need to be doing something every single day to get to where you need to be in this game, the game of football. This is not a part-time game. This is not something that you can take lightly. If you really want to play this game and if you're serious about this game, put the work in. Put the work in, because this is the ultimate game that what you put into it is what you get out of it. So do the things that you need to be doing. It starts with being able to prepare and eliminating distractions, right? Distractions are take it for granted, but not doing your chores at home and your parents ground you from going to train. Distractions are not handling your business in the classroom, so now you got to spend extra time studying or in study table and all that good stuff when you could be training. We are in upstate New York, fellas. We don't have the luxury of the weather year round, so we got to take advantage of our opportunities and having the weather with us for 4 months of the year. But we got to be able to make sure that we're working the other 8 months of the year as well. There's guys in Florida, Georgia, all that, we're fighting for the same exact scholarships that they're fighting for. They get all year to train, we don't, right? So there's options. Get to the options that you have in your area. Of course, the MJ School's doors are always open. The MJFootballSchool.com. Go online, check it out. get to somewhere where you can train every single day. Do something in the game every single day. Now, we're going to get to the fun part. We're going to get to the good part. We're going to get into individual and our one-on-one period, right? We're going to break up into position-specific drills. Wideouts are going to be in the far corner. Quarterbacks are going to be in the right corner. Running backs are going to be right where we're standing. DBs are going to be to the left down at this end, and linebackers will be to the right at that end. Linemen will be in the middle, down in the right in the left corner. So get to where you're going. Listen up, fellas. Most importantly, this is an off-season showcase. We don't need anybody getting hurt. We don't need anybody going to the ground in these one-on-one drills. Stay up, be athletes. The coaches that are going to be watching this live stream want to see who can be in the right position with the right body posture. So be athletes, stay off the ground, compete. I want you to compete at a high level, go 100 miles an hour, but make sure you can be under control as well, right? They're looking for athletes, fellas, and we're trying to show them something. So everybody, again, stay safe, compete, go out there, catch the football, defend the football, and let's have a day, right? So here we go. We're going to bring it up. We're going to go win on 3, and you're going to break to where you're going. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win!
We are back, and we are joined by Derek Dyer, one of the co-founders of Playmakers Podcast, who will be joining us throughout the showcase today. And Derek, first of all, thanks for coming up with us, and tell us how it's going so far.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having us. This is an incredible event that we put together, and I mean, we just wanted to broaden the gap between exposure for Western New York athletes. We found out a lot of our athletes wasn't ready for these showcases as a junior or senior when they were going down to Texas or Ohio. And so we wanted to bring something here in Rochester to get them prepared for those bigger showcases like the Rivals and things like that, and also give our 8th and 9th graders a taste of what these showcases look like and what they feel like.
And tell us a little bit about Playmakers Podcast. You guys have been around for a while. What's behind Playmakers Podcast? What's the overall goals?
Exposure. I mean, honestly, me and Maurice and Gerald, 3 founders of the Playmakers Podcast, we all play college football. We all play high school football in the city of Rochester, and all wasn't exposed the right way. So we went about it to close the gap and make sure that our kids are being exposed, understand what it means to have exposure, and also learning how to talk and learning how to interview when we're talking to these coaches. That's a big part of this recruiting gap, is being able to be personable and likable to these coaches.
You mentioned you were a high school and college athlete. I would be surprised if you told me you had opportunities like this. There wasn't anything like this when you were. Talk about that, like how it's changed.
Oh man, the landscape has changed so much recently. I mean, with social media and with everything, how everything else was blown up. When I was in high school, I'm not going to say a year because I'm going to date myself, right? But when I was in high school, we had no showcases. I mean, if you found out about a rival showcase, it was because you was either invited or you knew somebody who knew somebody. We had big-time athletes. I mean, Moe Jackson ran a 4.18, and he can tell you he went to 2 showcases his whole life before he went to Syracuse. So when you look at little things like that, you say why. And when you look at the whys, it's really because nobody's coming back home and bringing what they learned other places back to the Rochester area. So that's really what we wanted to do. And with Moe Jackson having the MJ school, it just made sense to do the podcast and get these kids up to snuff when it comes to exposure.
Now, are you surprised that showcases are popping up like this all over New York State? I mean, you know, we've done one in Utica. We saw you there.
Yep.
We did one last weekend on Long Island.
Yep.
There were 2 on Long Island
Yep.
last Saturday. You guys are running one. Are you surprised at how quickly these things are popping up?
No, not at all. I think what people are seeing is there's a gap. right? You don't have to travel to Ohio. You don't have to travel to Carolinas. You don't have to travel to Florida or the West Coast to get to these rival camps and these other camps. You can do a showcase right in your home, in your own backyard, get people to come here and expose your own players in your area. So I'm not surprised at all that these showcases are popping up. And I mean, we've reached out to a lot of them and we're learning from a lot of them and they're learning from us. So it's actually cool to see some showcases, see what they do, and try to tweak our showcase to be a little bit different than theirs.
And I think one of the things that sets these showcases apart is when you bring a live stream to this, you have the opportunity for coaches that maybe can't make it today. They're probably watching.
Yes.
So that, I think, brings a little bit more emphasis into your showcase.
Absolutely. We couldn't thank Varsity Media enough for being a part of this because, as you know, this is Memorial Day weekend, right? Not a lot of coaches get a 3-day weekend. Not a lot of them are able to travel to Rochester, New York if they're not from the area. So to be able to have this live streamed where they can watch it live, go back and see it, cut up tape, look at footwork, slow it down, that's invaluable for these kids. And also for these coaches in the Rochester area, these high school coaches, because now you can break down tape and say, hey, you see how your foot was here, you see how this was there, and you can get yourself better by just watching tape on the showcase.
And I just want to reemphasize something that Derek said. If you don't catch this live, you can definitely watch it back. It will be on our website or the YouTube site, youtube.com/varsity media. People are watching that right now. Yep. And then you could tell other coaches that maybe if a coach is listening right now and another staff member isn't, that coach can share the information. Hey, it's going to be on throughout forever. It's not going anywhere.
Right,
so,
not going anywhere.
So they have the opportunity to watch these kids all the time. All right, so we came on at about a little before 1 o'clock at the end of all of the shuttle work and the 40 times. Mm-hmm. Do you have any breaking news from us? You were down there. You were scoping out all the athletes. Any big numbers, any fast 40s or shuttles or anything you want to share with us?
Yeah. Well, before we get into that, I just want to say my condolences to the Zakowski family. Tyler Zakowski was supposed to be here, a quarterback from Aquinas. His grandfather passed away. So the Zakowski family, our heart is out to you. Our condolences to the family. Pete, Tracy, we love y'all and hope that everything's all right.
Tyler Zakowski, obviously an Aquinas quarterback. A lot of big things in his future.
Yeah, big. I mean, huge things, and he was looking forward to being here, but unfortunately he had that going on. And like I said, we kind of surrounded ourselves around Tyler and the AQ family and just how they do things, because they do things the right way. So some of the names, we got Seven McGee out here.
Right.
So Seven McGee is actually, everybody in Rochester pretty much knows who Seven McGee is. He's an Oregon. He's an Oregon verbal. He's out here. He's ran a good 40. He's just smooth. I mean, when you watch him out here and you see him, he looks like he's been doing this for 10 years. It's just, you can tell that he's been trained up and that he's been coached very well. He's actually up running a wide receiver drill right now, and you can see he'll catch with all hands. It's the little things with Seven. He may not be the 4-2 or the 4-3 guy, but he's a 4-4, 4-5 guy who just runs very smooth.
What's the benefit of Seven being here? You said that he's a commit to Oregon. Does he have something to gain by showing here, or is he looking for other coaches to take a look at him as well?
Well, he's only a sophomore. All right, so he's going into his junior year, so he cannot fully commit to them.
Right.
He can give a verbal and a soft commitment, but he's out here, and his specific reasons to me was to perfect his craft.
Right.
He knows that there's limited opportunities for you to go out and showcase yourself, especially in a live stream format. So Seven's out here, and he's out here just trying to better his craft. And hey, if another coach and other coaches look at him, great, but he's already knows where he wants to go or where his future holds. But he's out here getting better, and we have a lot of people out here just to get better. We have Sharon Davis from Eastridge. He's an athlete, man. I mean, quarterback, running back, cornerback, receiver. He's out here, and he's the same thing. Two guys that was at the Power 50 in Utica as well.
Right.
Well, not Seven, but Sharon was at the Power 50 as well.
Sharon Davis was definitely there. Right. Anybody run any fast 40 times that you want to share with us today?
We had Elam. He is from Geneva, running back. He ran a 4.58 electronic 40. Now, let me explain something.
Right.
Electronic between stopwatch is a world of a difference. When you're talking about the hand and the eye, you can miss a couple seconds on that. When you're talking about electronic laser time, it's going to be 100% accurate. So him running a 4.58 and showing that burst and showing that speed was awesome. He also was the highest, I want to say he had the highest vertical at 32 inches, as well as the shuttle time. I think he had one of the fastest shuttle times as well. So he's just an all-around baller. And to sum it all up, the guy just was out there yesterday at the sectionals running the 400 hurdles and finished really good as with that too. So he's a kid, he's in shape, and he's ready to go.
Now, talk to us a little bit about the laser. How do you guys set that up? I mean, how does a laser work on a 40 time? We saw it out there, but we didn't really know how it was set up.
So basically what you do, you have 4 different lasers, 2 pointing at each other at the start and 2 at the end. So once you start, a hair crosses that laser, it starts. And you have to run all the way through, and then once you run through the end, it stops. So this is not, like I said, this is not hand-eye. This is not, hey, I got to press this as fast as I can. This is laser time. So this is getting their exact split.
We've done 3 showcases. This is the first showcase we saw lasers. That's impressive that you guys have that here today.
Right. We wanted to give our guys the top technology that they would see. When they go to these big showcases and when they're going to combines, and I mean, all of them have aspirations to go to NFL Combine one day, right? That's what they use. They use that laser time. So if we can get them exposed to that now, then they can get all of the techniques and all the things out their way when it's really time to show. So this is, like I said, this camp is really about exposure and getting them to close the gap when they go to those other camps.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but every position, maybe not special teams, although maybe there are, but every position is represented here today.
Yes. We have our line defenses on one side, offenses on one side, defenses in blue, offenses in orange. We got a couple crossover guys that do both ways, so we've let them participate. But yes, this is every position. The other cool thing about this showcase, we actually, Playmakers Podcast and MJ School was able to sponsor 5 kids from every city school in Rochester for free. So regardless, we made sure that we went out there and got 5 guys from every city school. The thing is, we wanted to bridge the gap with the city school kids to make them understand what a showcase was. A lot of them never ran a 40, never seen a 20 shuttle, or seen it on the combine online. So we wanted to make sure that they was aware of what was going on and what their future would look like.
What can you kind of go through with us? What schools are represented here? What high schools are here at the showcase today?
Oh man, we have from the city. We have all city representatives. So we have Monroe. We have
East High.
We have
Edison Tech.
We have UPrep. We have Bishop Kearney. We have Geneva. We have Wayne. We have Batavia. We have Fairport. We have Cicero High School in Syracuse. We have McKinley High School in Buffalo. We have 2 guys that came all the way up here from South Carolina, Hillcrest High School. We have 2 guys from Pennsylvania that traveled up here. So we have a wide diversity of guys from Rochester, also about 10 guys from Buffalo and about 5 guys from Syracuse. So what we wanted to do was, yes, do this for our city, but also put them against some competitive guys outside of the area so they can see how they stack up to these guys. So we have about 20 to 25 guys outside of the Rochester area and about 10 to 5 guys outside of even Section 5.
That's amazing. And, of course, Wilson also in the city.
Wilson in the city as well.
Yeah,
yes,
Wilson in the city as well. So really everybody represented.
Yes.
Walk us through right now what the viewers are watching. We have a lot of different station work, but just kind of tell us what they're seeing right now.
So what you're seeing right now is our individual period. So we break these down to positional drills, and as you can see, we have the quarterbacks. The wide receivers are right next to the quarterbacks. We got the running backs directly in front of us. We have linebackers deep in the corner, and then we got our big boys over there by the side by the spectators. What you're seeing is individual work. So this is where you can get your technique. This is where we see your feet. This is where we see who's fluid. 40 times are great. Shuttles are great. But every coach in America will tell you it doesn't make a difference what you run in a 40 or a shuttle or what you jump if you can't do it on the field. So this is the most important part. The showcase and the shuttles and everything like that is great for times, but this is where we actually get the meat and potatoes of the work today.
Outstanding stuff. We're just getting started here. Derek Dyer joining us on the broadcast, part of Playmakers Podcast and the Empire State Gridiron Showcase, the first one of its kind here in downtown Rochester. We'll take a quick break. Plenty more to do. Don't go anywhere. Back after this on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to sign up with Varsity Media for this year's lacrosse season. We offer competitive filming rates for full season coverage of your team. Varsity Media also offers action photography during the lacrosse season as well. To learn more about our services, visit varsitymedia.net or give us a call today.
Back live here at the Empire State Gridiron Showcase, the first of its kind. Ben Turchin and Derek Dyer of the Playmakers podcast, kind enough to spend the afternoon with us and kind of break down what's going on the field. Derek, I know you wanted to talk about some of the coaches that have helped out here, starting with the Collier brothers.
Yeah, I mean, if you're from Rochester and you like running backs or heard of running backs, you heard of the Collier brothers. One went to Syracuse, one went to Pitt. They both played, both starred. They're out here helping out our running backs, and this is kind of the way we wanted to bridge the gap. We wanted to get some of the local athletes that's been at the college level to come back and give back to these guys. You having the Collier brothers who both played D1 football, one at Syracuse, like I said, and one at Pitt, both started at D1 football. It's invaluable that they are actually here with us today. You can see them now setting up the drills. That's Avion, went to Syracuse University, and then his brother, Kevin, went to Pitt. Both started at Churchville Chili. So it's big, and we got some running backs here, some young running backs here that need this kind of guidance. We have Dakari Carter. Dakari Carter is a running back from Monroe High School. He's a big guy, big kid. He has the orange hair right there. Number is he 84, I believe. We have Champion Chromes, who's actually running the ball as well, number 57. He's from Gates Chili. They're looking to be a big contributor this year. We have also we have some younger guys in the mix. Chauncey Gilbert, who's actually from out of town, who will be starring as the running back as well. But this running back collection here, a lot of young guys who should be putting in work in varsity next year, and this type of mentorship with the Colliers is invaluable for them.
Tell us a little bit about this drill right now. On the screen, we're seeing the running backs. We talked about the Collier brothers and how they're helping the running backs. What are we watching right now?
What we're watching is agility drills. So right now we're trying to see who got hips, who got feet, who can move. So right now they're shuffling between the cones, and then they're going to give them a direction. You're supposed to go the opposite direction. So if you're leaning and you want the defender to go left, you're going to lean to your right and then go back left. So this is what they're doing now. They're seeing whose feet is up to par. This is a great drill that every young running back has to do over and over again.
And you had mentioned there's a couple of big-name running backs here that we should be looking out for next year in high school.
Yes, Dakari Carter, 94 in orange. He plays for Monroe. He's only going to be a sophomore. But as you can see, he's about 5'10", 5'11", and a thick kid. Really straight, really strong runner. And they're looking, Coach Muhammad at Monroe is looking for big things for him next year. Champion Chromes for Gates Chili. I mean, Champion is a well-versed athlete. He's a running back. He's a cornerback and a linebacker. Moved up from JV to varsity at the end of the year as a sophomore, looking to do big things next year on the varsity level for Gates Chili.
Will there be other skills that the running backs will run today?
Yes.
I mean, we see the Colliers putting the cones down. Will they be going through anything else?
Yes. Colliers have a whole bag of tricks for them. They are not going to take it easy. And if you ever watched the Colliers play, they was very, very elusive. Very, very elusive and very, very powerful. So what they're doing now is they're trying to see good feet. We're trying to see who can put their feet together, who can get in and out of their break a little bit faster with the ball in the hand. The biggest thing is always have a ball in your hand. So as you can see, he's lining it up, and then they're going to go through the drill. Now this is for quicker feet. The guy going through right now, that's Davion. He goes through at East Ridge. He played fullback last year at East Ridge. So some of these guys are going through this. The first time they're going through, you can see it. They go Champion Chromes right there, very smooth on the bags.
What if a college coach is watching right now, which we know many are, what are they looking for here?
Technique. When you're looking at a college coach and you're looking for something, you're looking for who can fit your program. So you might not look at the biggest guy or the fastest guy. You're looking at the most disciplined guy and who's technique savvy. So when we're looking at this, you want to see people not chop their feet. You want to see their feet moving. You don't want to see them too spread out. These are the things that college coaches are looking at. All the little things that players might think that is overlooked or not, college coaches are diving into that.
And is this a drill that a coach can really pick up on something right here?
Yes, absolutely. Fluidness. Look at Champion Chrome's feet.
Right.
He's choppy. And even this guy right here, this is Brandon. He actually is going to 8th grade next year, but we wanted to give him exposure as well. So when you look at some of the feet, you can tell the difference between who's done this drill and who hasn't. And this is some of the reasons why we wanted to do this. A lot of these guys, like I said, they've never been on this level. So to get them in here in 9th and 10th grade is big for them.
Why don't we start to work our way across the field after the running backs? I see we're working on quarterbacks and wide receivers.
Yes.
Just past them, and I know you're excited about some of these quarterback prospects. Where do you want to begin on the quarterbacks?
Well, for quarterbacks, we have a bunch of good quarterbacks here. We got guys. JJ, he's up right now with the hat on backwards.
Yep.
He's from Syracuse, New York, and he can rip it.
Wow,
man.
Look at that throw.
This guy is, I think he's only a freshman or sophomore, and he can really just throw the ball. Right now he's throwing to 7 McGee, and you can see the placement. And, I mean, that's a sophomore freshman, and it's like right now the quarterbacks that we have on hand, they are up to snuff. We have Anthony Gilbert from East. He's up right now on closest to us. And, I mean, he's led East last year with Freddie Brock and 7 McGee. So we're looking for big things for him. He was only a sophomore going into his junior year.
Let's talk about these quarterback wide receiver drills. Right. What are we watching right now? Obviously, the receivers are running some routes, but what are we looking for the quarterbacks right now?
Quarterbacks is all about feet. It's all about feet. Right now, when you're doing these, you want to see them point that foot to where their target is. You want to see their mechanics. You want to see them keep their core compact and get the ball out their hands. With the receivers, what you want to see is them explode off the line, catch everything, use their hands, be decisive. Good catch by Sharon Davis. Also, Will Benjamin, he's up there. He just dropped one. I'm going to get on Will about that. But Will Benjamin was a all-state freshman linebacker at Aquinas. Couldn't catch the field because of the guys who he had in front of him, Karan, who's going to UB, and Ruben, who's coming back next year. Couldn't touch the field at receiver, but Derek Anacino and Aquinas is going to put the best players on the field. So they found a spot for him, and he was, like I said, an all-state linebacker as a freshman.
Coach Anacino, I think, is here, or he was here today. The head coach for Aquinas, Dave Marine, for Wayne, is here today. So you've attracted, and I know they're helping out, some big coaches in the Rochester area.
Man. You couldn't believe the amount of support that we got. Once we went to the Power 50 and we talked about, what we was doing, it was all support. Everybody was saying, hey, yes, that's what we need. We need to do something back home. And Dave was one of the first people to reach out to us and say, hey, guys, I'm all in. And Dave has been a huge plus for us. We've worked some of Dave camps and showcases that he did in December, and he's just a knowledgeable guy. He's a great dude, well coached. And Wayne is always a well-coached team. He gives back. I've actually been out to Wayne to help do showcases and little camps out in Wayne, and he's invaluable in this area.
What's Dave doing today? Is he helping the quarterbacks? Is that why he's at the QB drill?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We want his eyes on them QBs. He does a great job with teaching our QBs how to look off things and how to pinpoint the ball. So Dave's right now coaching up. We actually have Dave here and Malik Campbell from Syracuse University, who was a quarterback at Syracuse. He's here coaching them up as well.
That's outstanding. I mean, the amount of coaches here at every position is just really unbelievable. How many have come out to help these kids today?
Yeah, man. And the biggest thing is we wanted to get the right coaches. A lot of times you can just get hands and you just get people that's hands-on, but if they don't know the techniques and the things that coaches are looking for, you're kind of doing these kids a disservice. So a lot of times what we did was reach out to coaches who either been through the process or know what these coaches are looking for because they talk to these coaches daily. We got James Van. We got the whole East coaching staff here. Yeah. A couple U-Prep coaching staff. We have Bishop Kearney's coaching staff. So we have guys that's in the community doing this live every day who can actually make sure that these techniques are correct.
All right, so as we show you what's going on throughout the course of the field, I think next we'll start here. Looks like the DBs, Derek. Tell me if I have that right. Right
Yes,
at
you do.
midfield in blue uniforms here. We'll talk about the DBs, and I'm sure you have some good ones to mention here in this group.
Yes, Nasir King. Nasir King from Wilson. This guy has been locked down at corner for the past 2 years. Started as a true sophomore on that sectional championship team 2 years ago for Wilson. Played last year at corner and receiver. Really one of the top corners in Section 5. Really out here competing. Was at the Power 50 and really showcased himself well at the Power 50. We also have a couple other guys that's out here. Ethan Pham. He's out here. He's looking very good. He's a guy that just works hard. We got a couple guys from Buffalo that's on the defensive end, on the defensive cornerback as well, and they're out here showcasing their talent. When it comes to cornerbacks, right, it's funny because we had, of course, when you go to these showcases, you have a bunch of receivers, always. Receivers are like the first ones to sign up. You get a bunch of receivers, and I'm always ready to see who's the cornerbacks that sign up because they know there's going to be 100 receivers out there. Nas was one of the first dudes to sign up. He was ready to go. He didn't care who was out here. So these cornerbacks are ready to go, man. They're biting.
Tell us what we're watching right now. Looks like a backpedal drill,
yes.
And then you have a coach that's going to throw a football up. So
Yes,
what are we
yes.
seeing right now with the DBs?
What we're seeing is we're putting it all together. We're putting the feet, the hand-eye coordination, and then the ball coordination. So what you're seeing is we're seeing how fast they can change directions and then how fast they can recover when they have to turn and go chase somebody down to knock a ball away or go get a ball. So what we're seeing is the total package right now with these. And these are big drills for coaches. Coaches, you can zero into these, look at their feet, look at their transitions, and see who's smooth.
And who are the coaches helping out the DBs on the field?
Right now we have Roy Hopkins. Roy Hopkins is a Section 5 athlete. He graduated from UConn University. He actually played at UConn as well. He's the one throwing the ball. And then we have a student athlete that's going to Alfred University next year. He's helping out with some of the transitions as well. And then we have Coach Mike Russ. He coaches out in Geneva, so he's here helping with the DBs. And then also, like I said, is the head coach for East High School, James Van. He's out there as well, taking on, looking in things, and also giving them the proper techniques.
I'm noticing with the DBs, there's a lot of younger kids there. What should they be showing these coaches right now? You talked about 7th, 8th graders, maybe 9th graders. What's their skill set compared to somebody who might be a junior or senior?
Right now, their skill set is to learn.
Okay.
We don't care about any of their numbers.
Right.
We don't care about any of those type of things. What we care about is you listening, learning, and getting these techniques down. When you're in 7th and 8th grade, the pressure's not on you yet, right? You got a little bit of time. So what we want to do is make sure that they show the proper techniques. So as they build on that, by the time they hit 9th, 10th, 11th grade, they're ready to go with the techniques, and now it's just effort. Now we got to just worry about effort.
Some of these kids, though, are really impressive for being 7th, 8th graders.
Some of these kids have been at the MJ school for 2 years. So they've been training with Moe Jackson. Some of these kids have been on very, very well-placed Pop Warner teams. A couple of these kids are from Ogden. Ogden actually was 1 game away last year from the Disney. So these guys have played a lot of football and have been coached by really good people as well.
All right, so we'll move away from the DBs and we'll go to the offensive linemen, which are on the far side of the field at about the 30-yard line. There are most of them in orange, but some of them in blue. We'll get you some shots of the offensive linemen. And can you tell us a little bit about who's coaching them today and what we're going to see from them?
Yes, we have 2 fabulous coaches coaching them today. Actually, 3 fabulous coaches coaching them today. The first coach is Gerald Coleman. He's the co-founder of the Playmakers podcast, as well as the offensive and defensive line coach for University Prep with Kayla Goss. We also have Mike Condello. Mike Condello is the strength and conditioning coach for Aquinas. So he was the guy who warmed our kids up, made sure that they was ready to go. He is a defensive lineman. If nobody knows about Mike Condello played arena football for a ton of years at defensive end, and we called him Superman. I actually played with him with the Rochester Raiders, and he's just a great guy to be around, great motivator, and teaches proper techniques. Everything he does is technique driven. So when you have that on the offensive and defensive line, that's huge for these guys because a lot of times they're just getting coached to overpower people and not with technique.
As you see the coaches instructing the players right there, I see the what they have to jump over. What is the basics of the drill here for the offensive line?
Oh, man, feet. So a lot of times offensive line, we got to understand that you're nimble too, buddy. You can move those feet. You can make sure that you're an athlete as well. So a lot of times with offensive line, they think they're just big, massive guys. But when you're looking at them in college and you're looking at the NFL guys, these guys are getting slimmer and slimmer. You look at Mike McGlinchey, who actually plays for San Francisco, who's the number 10 draft pick last year. He's 6'7",
right.
But he's not 320. He's about 280, 275, thin, mobile, athletic. So this is what we're trying to show these guys. Nowadays, with the zone blocking and things like that, there's not too many 345 guards that's just killing guys. There's more traps and pulls and light-feeted and athletic guards and centers and tackles. So we're just trying to show them they have to be athletes as well.
As you see some offensive linemen, I don't know if you know any of the offensive linemen to share with us, but they're going through their drills right now.
Yeah, well, we have a bunch of guys from East High School. There's about 4 or 5 of them from East High School, and when you look at them, you can tell East is doing something correct. These guys are in shape. Now, the biggest thing with linemen is when you go to these showcases, a lot of times by the time we get to the one-on-ones, they're kind of dogged. They're kind of tired. Today I was very impressed. After the 40s and after everything, they was ready to go. And if you see them now, none of them are bent over. I was gonna say maybe 1 or 2,
yeah.
But none of them are bent over, and they're all locked in, ready to go. That's the biggest thing that we wanted to do, is make sure that they was in shape so they can learn the right ways.
Yeah, look at number 90. I mean, geez, very nimble. Very nimble for a big guy.
Moving.
Really, really impressive. And as we move away from them, our last group here on the field, all the way on the far end zone, looks like those would be our linebackers.
Yes.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but looks like dressed in blue here is
Yes.
about to go through a couple of drills here. Who do you got coaching the linebacker crew?
Well, we have East High School's coach Brent McGill. He's coaching them. We also have a coach from NLB, and then we have a volunteer coach, Train Flemings, who plays semi-pro. He's out here helping out as well. With the linebackers, the number one thing we wanted to see with them is also, again, it goes back to their feet and eyes. But again, also they have to understand they have to be physical. A linebacker, you can't be shying away from blocks, shying away from hits. You got to go meet that guy in the hole and be physical with him. So a lot of what Brent is showing is to be strong technically and actually use your feet to get you where you go. Get you where you need to go, and using your hands. We want to emphasize with the linebackers in this showcase the use of hands and getting blockers off you and being able to see the ball.
All right, well, there's a look at the linebackers. What we'll do is we'll take a timeout. We have so much more to do here at the Empire State Gridiron Showcase. We'll get you more of the other side of the field. We'll pan around everything. We'll have one-on-ones coming up. This is really an exciting showcase you're not going to want to miss. Derek Dyer, kind enough to join us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. I'm Ben Turchin. Don't go anywhere. We're back with much more of the showcase after this. And welcome back, folks. Ben Turchin and Derek Dyer of the Empire State Gridiron Showcase. As we are about to get going with the one-on-ones, we showed you all the stations, talked about all the different positions and some of the players that Derek highlighted today. I know Derek, you want to talk a little bit about Moe Jackson?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been knowing Mo for over 20 years. Just want to talk about a little bit about what his vision. Mo started the MJ school a couple years ago, and really he did it because there was a lack of speed training in the Rochester area. We had a bunch of 7-on-7 teams. We had a bunch of guys asking for training, and when Mo started it, he started it with Jackson Westfall and a couple players. Jackson will actually be starting to go to University of Buffalo next year as a freshman. So congratulations to Jackson. But Mo really bridged the gap with some of the things he's done. If y'all don't know, Moe Jackson ran one of the fastest 40s in NCAA history. He ran a 4.18. And when he ran it, a lot of people were saying, well, who is this guy? Like, where did that come from? Moe Jackson played with Donovan McNabb at the University of Syracuse. Caught the only touchdown against Florida. I remember that game. I was mad because Syracuse was getting blown out, but Mo scored at the end, so it made it a little bit better. But he's invaluable to the Section 5 area, man. This is a guy who's played arena football, played for the Buffalo Bills, played for the CFL, and has come back to Rochester and staked his ground back home and is giving back. I mean, when you go to his MJ school on Mondays and Wednesdays, he has a young session and an older session. And when you see the amount of kids that's going in and out of there, you start to realize why they're separating themselves in the football. When you see the Freddie Brocks, he was supposed to come, but he's not here. When you see the Seven McGee's, when you see some of these guys that's actually out here, most of them, the footwork has come from being at the MJ school and learning under Maurice Jackson.
All right, so we're just about to we are starting the one-on-one, so we're going to show you all that. And Derek, if you know the players, please share that with us so the people watching know who they're looking at. As we get going with the one-on-ones, my question for you is talk about how you got paired up with Mo. How did you guys, get this? Like, where did the idea come to create this?
So
the Playmaker podcast.
So me and Mo, we both went to John Marshall High School. He was a senior when I was a freshman, so that was always been my big brother. He used to come home and he used to teach me how to play wide receiver, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today without Moe Jackson coming home and actually showing me some drills that I never shown before. So me and Mo always had a relationship. We rivals a little bit because he's a Syracuse guy, I'm a UB guy, so we kind of pick at each other. But 3 years ago when he started his MJ school, we started talking about exposure and how to get these kids to the next level. As we watched Seven McGee run a route, and good defense right there by Nas. That was Nas and Seven McGee, two of our top players in Section 5. But as we talked about exposure, we started to talk about actually bridging the gap and what we can do to get these guys up to the next level. And what the biggest things that D1 coaches told us was the guys didn't know how to actually talk to coaches. So when you want to talk to a coach, you have to know how to present yourself, how to carry yourself, what to say. So the Playmakers podcast was brought on, first and foremost, just to get these guys to understand how to interview. As we see a catch from Scotty Parr, Greece Athena High School. He had an awesome year, Scotty, last year. Over 800 yards receiving. Only a sophomore, 2 years in a row, looking to do big things in his junior year. He plays for Coach Ed Long, and if you know Coach Ed Long, he's a passing coach all day long. So Scotty should have a great year. Two of his receivers out here, Scotty and Kadeem Walker for Greece. But the Playmakers, great ball, great pass by Anthony Gilbert from East High School. Awesome pass. With the Playmakers podcast, what we did was just bridge the gap. So we go to all the high school games. We make sure that we cover them. We make sure that we interview them. And what we're trying to get is these kids used to interviewing, used to being in front of camera, used to talking to coaches, used to answering these questions. And if we can get them to do that, then they're going to be good when they go live and actually have to talk to coaches.
Let's talk a little bit about the one-on-ones now. This is really where you showcase your skills. You're going up against whether it's a DB and a cornerback, and we could see some of the quarterbacks and how far they can throw the ball. If a college coach is watching, Derek, tell us, what are they looking for right now?
Right now, what you're looking for is, if you're looking at the receivers and corners, you're looking at technique. You're looking at who can stay in the hip pocket as a corner. Great move by the receiver. Whoa, almost outstanding one-handed catch.
Who's that? Do we know number 11? Because that was an unbelievable move.
Number 11. I think that's – give me 1 second. Number 11
in blue
is Michael Cathy from Edison. He is balling right now. And
Yeah, what a move.
what a move. What an outstanding one-handed try with the catch. As you can see with that, his stab at the top, those are the things that little college coaches are looking at. College coaches are looking to see who can separate from the corner. You don't want to keep a corner in your hip pocket the whole time.
Here's another move. Oh, what a break
great
by number
move.
20 in orange
Good-
with the catch.
Good move, good catch.
Who was that?
Number 20 in orange.
Trying to give these kids love as they make great plays.
Right. Oh, that's Muhammad. Muhammad Hussein. He actually played for Leadership Academy last year. He's playing for UPrep this year. And as you can see, he's just a stellar athlete. Only a sophomore.
There he goes. Oh, no, that's number 28.
That's number 28.
Good defense, though, on number
Great
21.
defense.
How about the defense
And that's
there?
a young kid. That
Right.
kid is only in 8th grade.
Wow.
So when you're seeing this, we told all our young kids, compete. It's not about speed. It's about you competing and being there. We want you to be there and be in the vicinity and understand that, hey, you're 2-3 levels behind this guy, but you're competing right with him.
There's another one-on-one opportunity
One-on-one right
here,
That's
and a nice
Sincere
move.
Burrows, he got to make the catch. Sincere Burrows, who's playing wide receiver for UPrep. Kayla Goss has him some great studs out here that's out here showing up for UPrep.
How about some of the quarterbacks? I know we talked about them earlier. For those that are just tuning in, do you have any quarterbacks that you're really looking to see showcase their skills today?
Oh, you seen that outstanding move by Seven McGee right there. Made the cornerback fall. Those are the little things. But let's go back to the quarterbacks. We have Jamari Johnson. Jamari Johnson has been on fire. He has been a guy that has led his Pop Warner team to the Pop Warner Nationals. He's been all over in Ohio. He's been to certain showcases. He plays for Rush Henrietta, and he's looking to have a big year, only going into his freshman year. But if you watch him, he's about 5'9", 5'10", thick kid with a tremendous arm. Jamari Johnson is one to look out for.
All right, so Jamari Johnson. Some of these kids are really slinging it, though. We just saw right a second ago on the far side of the field.
Yes.
I mean, I'm impressed with the quarterback so far.
Look at the arm. And see, that right there from that quarterback, I couldn't see his number, but those are the little things. If you see, coaches will grab him and say something to him after he's done. Because you want to get the feet. We're looking at your feet. Quarterbacks, is the placement, but we also want to know that you got the mechanics to get the ball there.
You had mentioned this kid right here is about to throw, and look at the arm on.
Look at that arm.
This is JJ from Rush Henrietta?
Yes. No. That's JJ from Syracuse. He's from Cicero High School, I want to say.
And what year is he?
He's a sophomore.
Wow. Yeah, he's really impressing today. Wearing number 8 in orange with the backwards hat and the yellow sneakers.
Yes.
He's really looking good. There's another throw on the far side of the field.
Good route by Victor Snow. Victor Snow for Webster. Right? Oh, good route by Miles Schaefer. Oh, we got to make the play.
Oh, but what a play defensively,
too. Great job by 45. Miles Schaefer, that's one of the athletes from South Carolina, Hillcrest High School, well represented. We got 2 of them here.
And we've got another route being run here.
Good job. Got to make the catch. Got to make. Those are the little things.
What are the coaches instructing the wide receivers? If you see the ball go through the hands, what aren't they doing right? They need to do.
You're not keeping your eyes on the ball. When the ball goes through your hands, that means you're not keeping your eyes on the ball. You're taking your eyes away from the ball at the last second, so you're not watching the full catch. Great defense right there. Great defense. Great placement.
That was 49 in blue with the defense.
49 in blue. Good job. So some of these things, some of the little things that college coaches looking at when receivers, stance, start, burst, hands, eye coordination. What are you doing after the catch? A lot of the coaches will tell them to burst 5 yards after the catch to make sure that they have the catch showed up and show touchdown. Right now, let's see. Make a play, boy. Great job coming back to the ball. Great job coming back to the ball. We got Kadeem Walker right here. Good catch. Way to put it away. Way to put it away. Good job. We got William Benjamin up right now at receiver. He's going right now with the hat on. Good route. Good defense. Way to get back into it. Will Benjamin with the route. Great defense. This is Seven McGee up again. Good move. Good catch by Seven McGee. Very smooth. When you're watching some of these receivers run, you can just tell the fluidity. That was a great route up top. I couldn't catch the number, but great route up top. The other key thing you want to look at is these quarterbacks, right? These quarterbacks has not played with these guys before. This is the first time that they're playing with this group. So sometimes the timing is a little bit off, but it looks like they're matching up very well right now. Good defense. Good defense. This is what coaches want to see. They want to see that effort. If you get beat, get back into the frame. Get back into the frame and compete. Scotty Power on a route. Good head fake. Good ball. Good throw. Good ball. Good catch. That was a great combination right there. Here's Jamari Johnson up at quarterback. Got to get a little bit better placement. Coaches him up right now. This is Dante Horton for Aquinas. Good catch. Great catch. Derek Anacino has him a group of studs out here, man.
Derek, has anybody impressed you yet overall since we've started? Have you seen anybody that really has wowed you?
Oh, man, I have to tell you, I'm very wowed by Sean Riley. He's smooth as a receiver. I'm very impressed by the younger guys. The younger guys, the 7th and 8th graders that's here are competing. They've blown me out the water. Number 31 in blue, Ethan. He's a Geneva cornerback and running back. He has stood out. He ran the fastest 40. He had one of the highest vertical jumps, and he's a competitor. I'm watching him play corner right now, not just up, but he was just up, and he's just a dog. He's just ready to compete, ready to go. And then also Ethan Pham. Ethan Pham is a great competitor. He's up right now, number 27. Let's see, he stays in the hip pocket. Got to get there. Got to close that gap. With the quarterbacks, JJ from Syracuse, Jamari Johnson. Though these guys are actually stood out to me because what they've done, the little things, their pocket presence, their feet work, to be such young quarterbacks. I mean, this is ahead of their time, and that's great for them.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the quarterback, number 8 from Syracuse. First of all, tell us, how did he hear about this showcase? How did you get him to come over here? And tell us a little bit more about him.
So, when you coach and when you coach Pop Warner, coach these other events, you run into some great people, man. Some awesome people. So as we started to showcase this event, and Mo being from Syracuse, we started to reach out to some of these coaches, some of these high school coaches, and some of these Pop Warner coaches to see who we should be inviting from their area. And he was one that jumped off the page to us. They told us NLB actually has him in, and he goes 7-on-7 with NLB, and they've been telling us about this kid for about a month now, and we said absolutely bring him in. We would love to put him on a platform to show what he can do. We also want to give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors, because a lot of the quarterbacks were sponsored.
Right.
They didn't really have to put up anything. We had a Dimes and Dots Passing Academy. They sponsored about 4 to 5 quarterbacks. And really what we wanted to do was make sure that the quarterbacks was here to get this work in and get the time in. Again, Seven McGee, another smooth route. Very just smooth.
It's amazing that Seven McGee is out here. He's showcasing. Doesn't have to be here if he doesn't want to. But I think that speaks to the showcase that you guys are running to have this guy show up today.
I mean, it's funny. I look out here and I look at, a lot of these guys are my babies. A lot of these guys are guys that I've coached Pop Warner, coached against in Pop Warner 4 or 5 years ago. Seven McGee, I've watched them play flag for the last 3 or 4 years. I've coached against them. I've had players play against them, and he's a competitor. What we do in Rochester, New York, especially a lot of guys that's from the inner city, is we talk to these kids. We don't care that you go to East. We don't care that you go to Wilson. We don't care that you go wherever. We don't care that you go to Fairport. We're going to come out there and we're going to support you.
You want the best kids.
And we're going to support you.
Right.
We want you to get to the highest levels of wherever you want to go. As I tell every kid that's out here, football is a way for you to progress in life. Any sport. It's not a final destination. You use this to take you to the next level. There's so many guys that I stay in contact with from my UB days that are lawyers, that are football coaches, that are just good men that I know from football that I now have a network with for life. So that's what this is about. All this showcases about football, but it's really about life skills.
Yeah, there's no two ways around that.
Oh, great catch. Great catch.
Where do you put the Rochester athlete, the Rochester football athlete, compared to the rest of the state? You were in Utica. You saw about 80 kids were invited statewide. Mm-hmm. Now nobody knows better than you guys about the city and the greater Rochester area kid. Where do you compare overall football here versus the rest of the state?
We're closing the gap fast. I think there was, between us and New York and down like New York City, there was a big gap at one point. A huge gap at one point. I think in the last 3 to 4 years that gap has drastically changed. When I went to the Power 50, the one thing that blew my mind was how much our kids stacked up to them.
Right.
And just seeing that our kids compete and could get the better of us, a lot of those kids that had a lot of high-profile looks.
Well, two of the kids that most people talked about was Rashawn Baker from Victor and Nate Carter from Bishop Kearney. That's two Rochester kids.
Right. And if you watch those guys all year, you would see why. You can stack those guys up against anyone. I mean, Nate Carter ran a 4.38.
Right.
You know, I mean, what else can you do? Rashard Baker, oh, my God. Watching him last year as a sophomore and just seeing what he did at Victor, I mean, I was just so amazed at his body type. I didn't know outside the pads that he looked like that. He looks like a man.
Right.
And him and Nate Carter side by side is like, y'all guys are you're going into your junior year, you're going into your senior year. Nate Carter looked like I looked when I was 24 years old, you know, like, again, not going to age myself,
right.
But these guys are just ready to go. So seeing that, it actually made me feel good about the Rochester athlete because it showed that, hey, we can compete. And that gap is closing. We have so many guys that's on the NFL looks right now on all college rosters. We just had 4 or 5 guys get brought to NFL mini camps. So it's like it's growing, and we're getting those guys to come back and give back so we can grow it some more. When you look down south, that's the biggest thing that they do. Their athletes come back. They come back and they give back. They go to University of Georgia, then they come back to their high school and they show the drills that they're doing at Georgia to their high school athletes. So that's what we're trying to build now.
Well, I think the other thing about that is when they're coming back here and they're talking about this showcase and these kids are here today, word's going to get out. Kids are going to tell other kids. You guys will probably put this on next year. Yep. I mean, is this something that you guys want to expand? Do you want to have more kids on the field?
Yes. This is the inaugural one, so we didn't know how this was going to go. We was absolutely thrilled when a week or two ago we had about 80 to 90 kids registered. So this was actually most word of mouth, Twitter. You know, we didn't really do a great job of exposure because we wanted Sharon Davis right there for East Ridge.
What a catch and a move.
Sharon. Smooth athlete, man. Corner, quarterback, everything. This is good defense. That's Cameron Dyer from South Carolina, Hillcrest High School on as a receiver. Sorry, what did I go
Just
to?
expanding the showcase. Like, is that something that you guys want to do down the line?
Yeah, so next year our goal is to make this whole event free. All right, so we have enough sponsors now that want to get with us, but too late into the showcase. So next year we're going to put this on for free, and we're going to expand. I mean, of course, we're going to have you guys back. We love what you guys do. We're going to have you guys back, but we're also going to get more out-of-state athletes. Okay. We want to put our guys on a competition level with these showcases. We want to stack our guys up to Ohio and Pennsylvania and all these Northeast areas that's so-called dominant areas. We want to put our guys up against them and show them, hey, guys, you can compete with all these Power 5 guys as well. So this is just going to continue to grow and grow and grow.
I think now's a good time for a quick break as we reset and kind of tell you what else is going on around the field. I see some action on the left side of the field, so we'll take a quick timeout, reset. Don't go anywhere. One-on-one still going on here. We'll be here till 3 o'clock, if not later, at downtown Rochester for this Empire State Gridiron Showcase. We'll take a quick timeout, back with much more after this on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to sign up with Varsity Media for this year's lacrosse season. We offer competitive filming rates for full season coverage of your team. Varsity Media also offers action photography during the lacrosse season as well. To learn more about our services, visit varsitymedia.net or give us a call today.
And welcome back to the Empire State Gridiron Showcase. It's Ben Turchin and Derek Dyer with you here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. Want to remind you, if you want to get interactive with our live stream today, if you hop on Twitter and follow us at Varsity Media, that's at Varsity Media, and hashtag Gridiron ROC, Gridiron ROC. If you use that hashtag, want to be interactive with us, if you want Derek and I to talk about a specific player or a school or anything about high school football, let us know. Tweet us, hashtag us, Gridiron ROC, and we'll put it right on the screen. We want to be interactive with you today. So, Derek, as we take a look at the other side of the field now, we're going to spend a little time one-on-ones. Who do we got going on here? Who's competing on this side?
So we got the running backs and linebackers doing one-on-one drills right now. You got to see what your linebackers could do in space. It's not all about tackling and coming downhill. You got to be able to move. So for the running backs as well, you got to be able to catch, got to be able to make sure that you can move and know what you're going to do. So right now we got about 3 or 4 routes for the running backs, and we got the linebackers just making sure that they don't get anything off easy. So right now, good defense, great job, way to get an angle. But as you can see, right, we have a younger athlete out there going against these bigger athletes, right? We want to get that fear out of them early. We want them not to be worried about size or anything like that, because you never know how tall you're going to get or how big you're going to get. But if you have heart, you can compete with anybody. So that's what this is all about. And as you can see, some of these linebackers and some of these running backs are smooth, got hands, great route, great stutter step, make a play. Good defense. That's what we want to see right there. That's what coaches want to see. You give up a play, don't quit until that play is over. If that guy had 2 hands on the ball and he raked it out, that's a great job.
How is he? What kind of skills do you need to possess to be able to do something like that?
Effort, man.
That's it.
It's effort. It's effort. A lot of kids think that some people got special skills or athleticism or all this. A lot of time it's just little technique and effort, man. It just separates you so much. Right here we got it. Oh, great defense.
Wow.
That's it. What a fight.
And a fight by the receiver, not giving up.
That's great on both sides. Receiver stayed in it. Corner almost caught a pick, and receiver wrestled it out for just another turn, incompletion. That way you have another down. That's great job by the receiver and great job by that DB.
The running backs and linebackers came to play today.
Oh, yeah. We got Davion Coffey up right now. A little quick by the quarterback. He's a guy from East Ridge. Also, has won a Pop Runner championship. Looking to be a big force in East Ridge this year, moving up to the varsity level as a fullback and a linebacker. Good defense. As you can see, we got some of our younger quarterbacks out here, and again, it's to get them this exposure, get them used to what they need to do, get them used to big bodies. Right now, we have an 8th grader matched up with Dakari Carter from Monroe High School, and we're going to see how much effort this 8th grader puts in. Close the gap. Good job. He'll get there. But these are the things why we want to do this. He's in 8th grade, and I can't imagine 2 years from now when he's at the same showcase and how he'll look.
You know, that's a good point I wanted to ask you. Younger kids that are having the opportunity to be at this showcase is going to help them, you would think, develop at the next level. Like when they get as a freshman into high school, they're going to have this experience already. That's got to be tremendous for them.
Absolutely. Man, we want to bridge the gap as much as possible for these young kids, man. I mean, I can remember in 8th grade, I wasn't ready to do
who knew?
this.
Like, who would ever have that? You're in 8th grade, and now it's May, and you could be, out playing. It's a beautiful Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. But that, I think, speaks to the kids that they are here and they want to get better at football, and they're getting great coaching it's unbelievable. You can't ask for anything better than
ask
that.
for anything better. And when their Pop Warner or their high school, their freshman coach says, "What have you been doing this
Right.
summer?" and they could come and say, "Hey, I went to the Gridiron Showcase."
Right.
I mean, that separates you from everybody else a little bit. And then when you can pop on the film and show your coach, "Hey, these are the drills that I did," that separates you even more. So this is invaluable for them. And great defense. And as we told the kids, we don't care about, like I said, we don't care about your numbers. We care about your effort. You show us your effort, we can get you coached up.
I mean, it's effort and it's also instruction, so there's knowledge that's now being accumulated by these kids, especially the younger kids that, to me, I would think would have a little bit of a head start when they get to JV, because maybe you have a JV kid that isn't that serious yet about football but might emerge, but now you have these kids here that have a little bit more knowledge.
Yes. And what we really want to do with these guys is also we want to make these guys the leaders. You know, you have some experience that you can bring back to your team. You have some knowledge that you can bring back to your team. You can go ahead and teach them and help them close the gap for your whole team. So next year, what we really would like is to make sure that we have a little bit more of these younger guys so we can get them more exposure so they can not be so nervous around other showcases and other athletes. And the other big thing that we wanted to do, we wanted to create a buddy system. So if you look, we have younger guys in every position. The reason we did that is we wanted to great catch, young man.
Unbelievable
Great
catch.
Great catch.
That's 33 in blue.
Yes. Brandon for Ogden. He's only going to the seventh or eighth
That's
grade.
unbelievable.
Awesome kid.
That's insane.
Awesome kid. One of the fastest young men I know as well. But we wanted to create a buddy system. So when they go to their high school games, they can say, "Hey, I competed with that guy." So if you're a freshman, imagine you going to the varsity game and you know players from both sides.
Yeah.
And they can say, "Hey, I watched you compete. Keep getting better." And then they come to your Pop Warner game or they come to your JV game. How awesome is that? That's why we also want to do this, to create this buddy system in the city and in Section 5.
No, it doesn't hurt
Great
for
catch, Miles.
more kids to know each other. I love that your coaches are so into it. I'm seeing Collier, after one of his running backs made a great catch, and he's into it down on this side of the field. You see him right there holding up his hands. I mean, I just think that's great. The coaches are so into it to see the kids get better.
We chose passionate coaches. We chose coaches that was going to be all in. We wanted to bring the excitement. We didn't want the excitement just to come from the players. We wanted to make sure that we brought the excitement as well, because these kids feed off the excitement. They feed off of little things. They feed on how we do things. So this is actually great for them. This energy, the feedback that we're giving them, this is all for them, man. And I'm happy how it all came together. It's just amazing.
Yeah, what an unbelievable event, and we thank everybody for tuning in. And for those of you that are tuning in and think somebody else should be tuning in, please share. Let them know we're live. We should be here in downtown Rochester for at least another half an hour with just unbelievable exposure for these athletes from not just Rochester, that Derek has said, but coming from as far south as South Carolina here today on what is a picture-perfect, beautiful day for football. Where else would you rather be, right?
Right. Had me a little bit worried earlier in the week. I seen thunderstorms on the horizon, and then yesterday everything just cleared up for us. So everything worked out. The guys are performing well. I love this drill right here where we're throwing one-on-one passes in the end zone, because a lot of times receivers, one-on-ones is a little bit unfair for the corners, right? They're on an island. They're just by themselves. When you condense the field, now you give the corners a little bit more of an advantage, and the receivers really have to do their technique 100% right. Great one-handed catch. Yeah, we'll take a pan and a view back to the other side of the field now, away from the linebackers and running backs, who, by the way, did a great job. Awesome job.
For the past 5 to 10 minutes that we showed you that on the left side of the field. Now going back to the DBs and the wide receivers here, as Derek had mentioned, running drills here towards the end zone. That's what we're looking at?
Yes, awesome catch. I think that's 2 or 3 great catches.
18 in orange.
18 in orange. Oh, yes, Michael Cathy from Edison Tech. Awesome. He's been performing great all day. There's
a lot of good talent in the city, so what's your expectations next year around Monroe County? Some of these – now, we have Aquinas that's in now.
Yes.
I mean, so I don't know how many of these Monroe County schools are like that, but Aquinas is in. And some of these other city schools, who do you like coming into next year?
I really like what UPrep has done. I really like what East has done. I think East, they brought back basically all their specialists. Their quarterback, 7, Freddie Brock, they're all coming back. They got to reinvent that line. They lost some big guys on the line with Jake leaving and graduating. But East should be a team to be really fair. I also like what Coach Muhammad has been doing at Monroe because he's building a program.
Right.
I mean, that's something that Monroe didn't even have a program 4 or 5 years ago. And he literally built it from modified JV on up to varsity. And now they're competing at the highest level in AA. So I'm really looking to see what he can do at that AA level. Also, I'm looking forward to Wilson, man. Wilson, I mean, they lost 2 heavy hitters. And their running back and their receiver, but they're bringing back a whole lot of talent. Quarterback, receivers, Nasir King Jr. is coming back. He's been playing varsity. This will be his 3rd year playing varsity. So I'm really looking forward to what the city has to offer. Some of these games in the city are going to be really, 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 really challenging.
Do you think the city is on par with the Monroe County schools? Like, can the city play with a Victor, a Pittsford?
I think they're getting there.
Okay.
I think they're getting there. Victor, when you're talking about a Victor, and when you're talking about a Fairport, and when you're talking about those are traditions.
Right.
You know, those have had good coaching and good programs and good football for 20 to 30 years, right? A lot of the city has been revamped. You know, we lost Marshall, we lost some other high schools. Right. So it's kind of – and then charter schools opened it up. Right. It kind of shuffled the city a little bit. But the biggest thing that I've seen in the city is the coaching has gotten so much better in the city. When you get like a Kayla Goss at UPrep, I mean, that's big. When you get a Rick Goss at Bishop Kearney, that's huge. When you get a Jason Muhammad at Monroe, who's been coaching Section 5 for 20 to 25 years, that is huge. So a lot of it has to do with the coaching and them just bridging the gap of the experience and knowledge and giving back. I think this past year has been the most college coaches I've seen in Section 5 visiting these high schools. So they're doing something right, and I just want them to keep going. And however way we can help, we're there to help.
As you continue to see the one-on-ones here into the
Great
corner
catch.
of the end zone, there's a great catch.
Great
Who was that?
catch.
Can we get a number there on the far side of the field? So it's going to be difficult. We need him to turn his back
Sincere Burrows
and show us his number so we can give him a little bit of love because that was a great catch.
Awesome catch.
72. And folks, if you're thinking, what's a wide receiver doing wearing 72? The numbers mean nothing, so don't pay attention to that.
Right. 72 is Mike Maxwell, World of Inquiry. Awesome catch. Scotty Parr with another catch for Greece Olympia. Yeah, you'll see some of these, and this is the other thing we told the receivers. If I'm a receiver, we had 28 receivers today. If I'm a receiver, I'm going to jump up as many times as possible. Right. I'm not going to wait for the coach to tell me when to go.
Exactly.
And as you can see, we have a lot of the veterans jumping up. And I seen Coach Randy Schaefer right there with the receivers on the closest end. He actually is from South Carolina, drove a couple of the athletes up. So thank him very much for coming out today, Randy Schaefer. But you can see he just told a bunch of the receivers that was in the back, hey, somebody will get 10 reps if you let them. I know I would.
I mean, that's part of the competition, right?
Yes,
I mean, you're competing against other kids here. I know there's camaraderie and get to know everybody, but at the same time, you're competing, trying to make a name for yourself.
And I told the kids from the beginning, we can see you if you hide in the back.
Right.
We can see you. So you don't want to hide in the back and then wondering why you only got 3 or 4 reps. If you need more reps, get up front. I mean, I remember going to a showcase when I was younger, and I literally was trying to skip everybody to the point where they was like, hey, okay, you got 10 reps in like 5 minutes. Relax. But I was a Rochester kid that didn't have a name for myself, and I was trying to make a name for myself, so I did whatever I could do.
I saw 14 there, one of the DBs with a great push-off, and to just have the awareness to know you can put your hands on the receiver within 5 yards. Press coverage, I think you would call that. And number 14 with the awareness in orange there, very, very impressive as a defensive back.
A lot of these guys, even though they signed up as a receiver, a lot of these guys got to play both ways in high school. That's just how it is. And I've told them, pick your best position, and we're talking about high schoolers. They don't even know their best position right now, right? They get to college and they get moved around or whatever. So a lot of them you will see, they may struggle as their first group, but if they line up at another position, they may be really fluent. So their coach actually had them lined up at where they wanted to work on. So this is awesome if they get to go both ways because you get to put on film 2 different things for your coach to see.
Folks, if you hear us in the background or you hear some noise, we apologize. It's a little bit windy here today. Hasn't affected the play at all on the field, but you might hear a little bit of wind coming through. The day is beautiful if you haven't been here, but if you're not here in the Rochester area right now, but we do have some winds whipping through here. And this stadium is notorious for the wind kind of circulating through. I'd give you the name of the stadium, but it changes all the time. So
it changed like 3 or 4 times.
It changed like it was Paytech, then Saline, then now Marina
Autos.
You just don't know what the name of this field is, but it's a nice place to have a showcase for sure in downtown Rochester.
Right. I mean, we thank the R Center for allowing us that great catch.
What a catch there!
Great catch. We thank the R Center for allowing us to put this showcase on. When we told them what we wanted to do, they jumped all on board on this and was just like, yes, absolutely. We actually had a flag. The Rochester Flag Football League moved their date. They were supposed to play today. They moved their date to accommodate us because of the event we was doing for the city of Rochester. So just thanks to them very much for allowing us to put this showcase on.
Really seems like the entire community coming through here,
yes.
just to help kids showcase their skills in front of college coaches, and that's what that's all about.
Right. The other thing I want to say is thank you to all the parents. One thing that always get left in the background is the dedication that the parents put in. As a former Pop Warner coach, as a former high school coach, as an arena coach, and as a semi-pro coach, I see the effort that parents, great catch, young man. But I see the effort that parents put in, driving to practice, taking them to showcases, making sure they have the proper equipment. I mean, guys are wearing $70 gloves. I mean, my mom wasn't paying $70 for me to wear gloves back in the day. So you got to just thank the parents for allowing for putting their kids on this pedestal and making them come to this showcase and giving them everything they need to be successful.
Here's a look in the corner of the end zone.
Great defense. What an interception.
What an interception by 49 in blue. Great coverage.
Great job. And he stayed right there. That's a big receiver he's going against.
Yep.
So he stayed right there in his pocket and made a play, didn't quit. Good job. See, these end zone periods, when you're doing one-on-one, this is great for the quarterbacks for timing. A lot of times you can be late on deep throws, right? Because you can just sling it and they can run under it.
Right.
You can't be late here. You have a split second to get the ball off. So this is great for college coaches to see and watch.
And the fade has become very popular, even in the NFL game.
Yes.
You see like a guy like Julio Jones, the Falcons just want to go up to him in the corner of the end zone.
Yes.
So this is a play that's emerged in the past 10 years, I would say.
This is a play that's pretty much, if you're 6'3" and up, this is your bread and butter.
Right.
You should be eating off of this all day. So I love this for slot guys because it gets to see how quick they are with their feet in small spaces. So we have Horton up from Aquinas right now as a receiver. Oh, he's up next. Kadeem Walker's up right now at receiver. Good push off, good catch.
Nice catch, 15 in
blue.
blue.
Good catch. Kadeem Walker for Eddie Long out in Greece. And then Derek Anacino right here, receiver, slide receiver. Great defense. And you love the competition, right?
You do like the sportsmanship.
You love that he didn't get his footing right, got up, slapped him up. Let's move on to the next play.
Right.
That's what you're going to have to do when you're on the next level.
There's a receiver just totally beat his man with the easy catch. What speed.
And there go JJ with another great ball. Just his timing is awesome, man.
Looks like that period has come to an end as Coach Jackson is talking it over with the kids.
Yep.
Why don't we take a quick break and we'll see what else is coming up on the other side of this. It's Derek Dyer and Ben Turchin here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. More of the Gridiron Showcase when we come back right after this. Folks, just coming back on the air here to wrap it up. As you see, Derek Dyer hustled all the way down to the field to talk to the kids and Moe Jackson a second ago. They did a great job. Back on with Joel here to wrap it up. Just to put a finishing touch on here, we've done 3 showcases, this being our 3rd, and very, very impressive today.
Yeah, this really was. This was a lot of fun, and it's such a great turnout.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Derek touched on it earlier with the response that they got. Really it was social media, word of mouth, and it really caught on. And it was just so great to see all these kids here having a good time. This event went really well, very well planned. So just a great all-around event.
I want to remind everybody that you can go to, mjfootballschool.com for Moe Jackson's website to learn more about him training football players. That's mjfootballschool.com. Make sure you visit that website. There you see it on the screen right now. And you can get Playmaker podcast on Twitter. Look for Playmaker Podcast on Twitter. You could find them on social media as well. We thank you for watching our live stream here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We always appreciate it. You could subscribe to our channel if you haven't. Hit the little red bell at the top right corner for updates. You never know, we may have live streams coming your way this summer, but if we don't, then up here in Rochester and down in Long Island, we're really excited about this.
Yeah.
High school football season will be here before you know it.
Yeah, I know everybody on this field can't wait for football season, and we're right with them. We can't wait to bring some of the best games in Section 5 this year. We're going to live stream as many as we can,
right.
Some of the top games of the week. So really looking forward to just football season being back and being able to bring all of you some of the top games of the season.
And we're looking forward to really showcasing some of the kids that have emerged that you saw in Utica, Long Island here, and at some point you're going to learn about the class of 2020 signing letters of intent, which is coming up senior year, and then you'll be looking at the 2021s, kids all over the state that will be showcasing throughout the course of the year. You follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all at Varsity Media. Make sure you're following us throughout the course of the year, even football season. We're finishing up lacrosse season. We've got another week or so before we get to the championship at St. John Fisher. So you'll be following all our accounts for hype videos and highlights of all that. And then definitely for football season, it's at Varsity Media on all 3 social media accounts. That does it for us, for Joel, and for our entire staff, for Alex and for John and for Kyle, everybody who helped out today. Thank you again for joining us on the live stream here on the Varsity Media Network. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, and we'll catch up with you down the road.